recording in progress. Okay. My purpose in writing the book was to hopefully help all women who have dealt with adversity in their life, though their experiences may not be exactly like mine. I want women that have lost hope, no matter how many times, to relate to my experience of climbing out of the muck and mire to lead a happy, productive life. I have a quote: no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That is a quote from literature that I read daily, and that's what I hope I've captured in my narrative. Though it may be difficult at times to read about the despair I've gone through, there are also uplifting moments throughout and a very positive outcome. I'd like to read some excerpts from my memoir now, and then I'll open it up for questions. The night I got my first DUI started off like most Friday nights: drinks after work, lasting until late in the night. This night, we decided not to stay until the bar closed, but to go to a friend's house and play cards. I was speeding across town when I was pulled over by the police. I certainly didn't consider myself drunk. After all, I was not in a blackout yet. When the officer had me perform the field sobriety tests, I passed them all. He was going to let me go, but his partner had called for the bat van to come and give me a breathalyzer test. I agreed to blow in the machine because I knew if I refused, I would lose my license for a year. I blew a .27, more than 3 times the legal limit. They hauled me to jail and towed my car to a car lot. I was not happy at all about this turn of events, but I cooperated as much as I could because I didn't want to end up losing my license for a year. There were still serious repercussions that had to be dealt with over this DUI. I had to go to a hearing, and if the police officer testified, I would lose my license for 30 days. I had no idea how I would manage to get to work without my license. I worked in different locations every day, in town and out of town, so I had to have a vehicle. My big plan at that time was to drive and not get caught. Luckily, the police officers did not show up, so I did not lose my license. However, in Wichita at that time, they made all first DUIs go to a program they called intervention. Thank goodness the intervention was on a weekend when David had the girls, so I didn't have to tell anyone where I was going. Secrecy is an important commodity to a drunk that's trying to keep their ability to drink at any cost. They talked to us about alcoholism and brought in recovering alcoholics that told their stories and how they no longer had to drink. Well, this didn't really apply to me because I never had to have a drink. I chose to drink. They gave us paperwork to fill out about how often we drank and how much we drank. I lied to them about both because although I knew it was not a problem, they might see it as a problem. I was willing to any length to keep drinking exactly how and when I wanted. I had a wonderful opportunity, but I was not yet ready to give up what I thought was my freedom of choice. I heard nothing that entire weekend, and when they told me I was court-ordered to attend 12-step meetings 3 times a week, I was totally flabbergasted and full of resentment. They said, blowing a .27 and being able to walk and talk normally means you have tolerance, which means you're an alcoholic. I told them, I don't know what you're talking about because to me it means I can handle my liquor. I left that program and immediately headed home to drink myself into oblivion. This was in September of 1989, and I did not find long-term sobriety until July of 1990. And then an excerpt, a more happier note from my childhood. There were good memories too. It was a warm and breezy day in March. In Kansas, the wind blows most of the time, but especially so in March. My father, Mike, and I went out in the newly mown green field beside our home. I always loved the smell of fresh mown grass in the spring. The sweet aroma filled my senses and heightened my awareness of the moment. I felt so alive in my new bright yellow shorts, aside my brother with his jean shorts. My father, clad in his silly-looking Bermuda shorts, taught us how to launch a kite. Feeling the wind in my hair as we ran to launch the kite gave me the hope that I might fly away. I loved seeing the kite take flight, soaring higher and higher until I could feel it tugging lightly on my arm, the chance at freedom just moments away. Would the kite fly free today, lifting on the breeze, breaking free from restraints? The possibility was always just a breath away. Hope is eternal, and I was present in every moment. Often, the kite would eventually return, being reeled in steadily and slowly by my father. That was okay. The next time it might break free. I had endless hope when I was flying a kite. The hope that one day I would be free from the insanity, both inside myself and in the outer world. That's excerpts from my book. Uh, um, does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? I don't really have much else to say about this.
I have
Like
a
I said,
question.
I'm just. Go ahead.
Hi, Kathy. I'm so proud of you for this book. I think it's just great. Um, I have a question. Can you just kind of briefly summarize your journey since you found sobriety and how you got to Topeka and this place you are now? Just briefly.
Sure. I sobered up originally in Wichita, Kansas. I went to a treatment center there, and then I started attending 12-step meetings 7 days a week. I was there for 6 years when my job kind of went south and I needed new employment. So I found employment here in Topeka and moved to Topeka, which I did not want to do at all. But I'm happy I did now. But at that point in time, I didn't want to do that. So I moved to Topeka and found 12-step meetings here. And 12-step meetings are still a large part of who and what I am. You'll read in my book, there was a period of time where I quit going to 12-step meetings and quit doing what was suggested, which includes meditation, having a sponsor, prayer. You have a higher power of your own understanding, which was very important to me. And I ended up drinking at that point in time. I had 10 years sobriety and I ended up drinking and with devastating results. But I did get back into the program. I now have 24 years sober and I was a court reporter when I first moved here, and it was a very fulfilling career and very lucrative. But I became disabled and could no longer do that job. So I retired and I started working as a caregiver for a woman that was in a wheelchair, totally non-weight bearing. And I worked for her for 20 years. And then we separated ways. And I now work for a company called SLI, which means Success, Learning, and Inclusion. And it's for people with IDD. And at the current time, I work in a home with 3 women that are autistic. And I really love my job. It feels good to help people. And it's just very rewarding. Not lucrative, but very rewarding. And I've been able to continue my education. I found out that in the state of Kansas, if you're over 60 years old, you can audit any class in any university in Kansas for free. And I've taken advantage of that. Ruth has been with me on that journey. And I also now, I'd like to say, belong to Kansas Authors Club, which I'm really excited about. I'm learning every day. I haven't made as many meetings as I want. And I want to come Saturday, Ruth, but I'm going to be in Emporia celebrating Pride with my child, and that's very important to me. So I
Super.
will be attending that. Um, but anyway, that's a little bit about who and what I am. Like I said, I went to counseling also for many years, which was also a very big part of my journey. So that's who and what I am. Thank you, Ruth.
No, thank you. I think it's wonderful for any person to confront the issues that life presents us with for whatever reason and has the courage to face them. And that's our journey in this life. And it's not always easy, but it's one step at a time. I mean, it's great. So I'm really proud of you and thank you for including me in your journey, Kathy. I'm
Thank
happy
you,
to be.
Ruth. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we have another question coming from Kaz. She's been trying to speak, so we'll give her that opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Kathy, it's
Aaron,
an
I
amazing.
didn't know who that was. Hi.
It's me.
Karen from
Hi.
Idol.
Yeah. Um, I'm looking forward to reading the book. I'm looking forward to bringing it over to Wales. I think it's an incredibly brave thing to do, and to examine your life in detail like that is really something. And I just wondered, how did you manage that process of writing when you know that a lot of the really personal stuff is going to be read by people close to you? How do you get that true representation and say what you want to say, but also, yeah, under those circumstances, I guess?
Yeah. Now that it's out, I'm a little more anxious about that actually than when I was writing it. But I think the thing that kept me going, my big hope is that a lot of women in recovery will be able to read this and relate to it, and especially early recovery, and see that there is hope. It took me a long time to get to the hope, but I kept trudging along. And I think that's what made it easier for me to be so personal, because in my 12-step work, we tell our stories many times, and I don't tell nearly this kind of detail when I tell my story. But I did want, like I said, for any woman actually who's gone through adversity in their life in certain situations, whether they're the same as mine or different, if they felt that loss of hope, I wanted them to hear a message of hope and recovery. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Karen is my family that I go visit in Wales every year. I just returned from there. Tell Coral hi. And
I
yes,
will. Yeah, I will. Good to hear your voice.
Good to see you, Karen.
So we have a message here from Mary B. Much love and hugs from the beef. Off to work. Go with God. And she's left the group right now, so maybe she's busy with some things. I thought I should read it out. And it takes great courage to publish and to write such a book that I have just come across through Catherine. And I'm very grateful to her for giving me this opportunity to publish her work. And it is very bold and very vicious. I mean, there is a lot of things that even I would fear to write and express. It's that courageous, I think, and I simply want to give her the thumbs up for that, for doing what she's done. Now, except that, I'd like to share with everybody that the book is available on our website, and it is also available online on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, you name it, everywhere. It's globally available everywhere online. in ebook as well as in print format. So yeah, do get your hands on the copy of Seven Lives, Seven Choices if possible. And over to you, Kathy, if you'd like to say something.
Thank you. And thank you all for coming. It was good to see you all, Nancy, Karen, Ruth. Laura was here. I don't know what happened to her. And Mary was here but left. I didn't know Mary was here either. So anyway, you all have a good day.
Hey, Kathy.
Thank you, Ruth.
Hey.
Thank you so
Ruth has
much.
just written a book too. Lunacy and Acts of God,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's a great book. I read it.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's a great
Well,
book.
today's
It's a
about
novel.
it's a novel, but today's about you. I'm just so proud of you. Is this your first book?
No, I have a series of sci-fi
Oh, that's
books.
right. Right. This is your
Right. I
first.
have my 4 sci-fi books, a
This is your
series that I
memoir.
wrote. Yeah.
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 That's great. I think that takes so much courage, but it's wonderful. And I've already ordered your book, so I'm looking forward to getting it.
Great. Thanks, Ruth.
Okay.
We'll
You
see
take
you all
care.
later. Bye, Nancy. There's Laura. Hi, Laura. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everyone. Thank you for attending the show.